Hi everyone and welcome to Think Happy with Tammy. So tonight's video, I created this channel because I wanted a space where people could come and share their stories and help other people be inspired through their stories. And so my entire life I have been obsessed with autobiographies, reading them because I wanted to know how people overcame things in their life. I was abused as a child, and so as an adult, I wanted to know how people overcame things in their lives. And so I would read autobiographies. And my sister used to tell me it was because I was nosy. That wasn't true. That wasn't true. I was reading it because I wanted to know how they overcame things. And so tonight I'm going to share a little bit of a story that I had to overcome in my life. And so I had this young lady contact me about a video that I did last year in December. And in December, I posted the third video that I posted on my channel was called Why I Stopped Reading Tarot Cards and Went Back to Church. And she contacted me the other day and she said, after watching your video, I realized that she wanted a relationship with God and was considering putting the cards down. And so I watched my video after I talked with her, and I realized that that is the #1 watch video on my YouTube channel. It has over 250 views, has 1 dislike, and I think it has like 14 likes. But after I got done reading it or watching it, I felt like God was telling me it was time to tell more and to share more about that story. And so I just wanted to do that tonight. And so I started reading tarot cards like 8 years ago, and I'm going to link that video so that you can watch it if you want to. I'm not going to really go into details of why I went back to church and all that because that's in that video. But I did start reading tarot cards 8 years ago. I went to my very first metaphysical fair, and at that fair I got a reading by a lady who was a medium, and I was fascinated with how she knew so much about me. And I was just like, how does she know that? How is that happening? And this just fascinated me. And so a couple months later, I went to another metaphysical fair and had another reading done. And the same thing happened. It just kept happening, and it was fascinating me how they knew these things, right? And at that second metaphysical fair, I met a lady who would be my spiritual life coach for the next 2 years after that. And she helped me unpack a lot of things from my childhood that I carried around. I say unpack because it was like I was carrying it in a backpack through everything in life, through my marriage. And she helped me unpack a lot of things from my childhood and unpack a lot of things that happened in my marriage. And I was very grateful for her, and her and I are still friends. I still have friends and family that are in that realm. And I don't want to offend them with this video, but they all know how I feel and that I'm not going back to that. There is a saying that says, the people you hang out with will become the people that you will become the people that you hang out with, something like that. Well, that's very true because I wasn't into tarot cards and stuff until I started making friends in that realm, and my family, some of my family members were working in that realm, and then I started doing things in that realm. And so I started reading tarot cards. I think it was either my second or my third fair. I bought a tarot card deck and I brought it home. And I didn't like it because traditional tarot cards to me felt very dark and evil. They didn't sit well with me. And so when I went back, I went to a metaphysical store and I bought an angelic tarot card deck made by Doreen Virtue. And those of you that don't know Doreen Virtue, she was a very respected spiritual leader in the metaphysical realm. And she made many, many card decks, wrote many books. And since she has now since stopped making cards, she's gotten completely out of that realm. And she also does videos to help people turn to Jesus. And so, anyways, so I bought her Angel Tarot card deck. And I took it home and I really liked it because it was much softer and much loving, had angels on it, and I got to know it very, very well. And I got to know each card very, very well, and I felt very comfortable giving readings. But you see, this is how, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to be talking about God and the devil in this video, so if you don't want to hear about God and the devil, this isn't going to be for you, and that's okay. So that's how the devil starts to work. He twists things so that you like it, and he will present it in a way that you will like. And that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't like the traditional tarot because it felt very dark to me. But when I saw the angel tarot cards, it felt very like something I could do. And so I bought them. And I took them home and I started to use them. Started to use them on myself, and sometimes twice a day. It was an addiction for me. It became an addiction for me, not just doing the readings on myself twice a day, sometimes more, but watching videos on YouTube of readers giving readings and going and basing my life around their readings and basing my life around the reading that I was giving myself. And then I started giving readings to my sisters, started giving readings to my brother-in-laws, my nieces, my nephews, my cousins, and friends. And it just became a natural thing for me. And then I started reading I went to one fair and I did readings there. And the whole time I was there, I felt completely a dark unease within me. And I decided when I left that fair that I wasn't going to do that again, because I felt like I had no business telling people what to do with their life. That is God's job. That is not my job. And I didn't like it. And so I told myself I was not going to go back and do another fair like that. And so I also had a spiritual life coaching business that I built around giving readings to people, doing Reiki on them, because I was a Reiki master teacher as well. And that's another video I'm going to do, because I couldn't understand how Reiki could be bad, because I saw it heal people with cancer. I saw it, and I've had that conversation with God. I needed to know what the deal was with Reiki, because I saw it heal people, and if it's something that I'm not supposed to be doing, then I need to know what's going on, because I don't understand why it healed people. And he has answered that for me, and I'm going to do that in another video. But I was doing Reiki, and I had a lot of friends and family in that realm. I still have some friends and family in that realm, but I have lost a lot of friends because I'm not in that realm. And that's what happens, is when God moves you on to what he wants you to be doing, or what you're meant to be doing, then people leave your life, and that's okay. But I can tell you that me putting down those cards was me putting down an addiction as well. And I just want to say that it can become an addiction because you want answers. And when you're going and getting readings from people, you're just searching for answers in all the wrong places. And, well, that was my story anyway. I was searching for answers in all the wrong places. And God was trying to get me out of that. And I wasn't listening. But until last year. Last year I had something happen to me, and it had to do with a dark force. Okay, I have felt both good energy and bad energy. And one time when I was giving a Reiki session to my friend who had cancer, at the end of the session, I felt this energy come up to me, and it just gently touched my cheek. And I felt the warmness on my cheek, and I felt it on top of my shoulder. And it just came up, and it did this, and it went away. And that was the first time that I actually felt a good energy, a very loving energy. And I have felt a dark energy too. I haven't wanted to talk about this because the main reason is because it is going through my mind right now. People are going to judge you. People are going to judge you. But I've learned to do what God has asked me to do, whether I want to do it or not. And I feel like when that young lady contacted me, immediately I just had this feeling like I needed to say more. And so I am. We had a couple come to our church about a month ago and come and tell their story about a tragic event that happened to them in their life. And part of their story was about a evil force that came to them. And as she was telling her story, God was saying to me, see, it's okay. It's okay to tell your story. And I've been hesitating doing it because, first of all, it's still a very fragile thing for me to talk about. And it still is very fresh in my mind and very fresh in my life, even though God has taken it away and He has begun healing me through that for over a year now. And so I'll just say it. In July of last year, I had a dark spirit come to me. And it was not a good experience. And I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to scare people. I don't want to scare people. And it made me want to put the cards down and to turn to God and to have a relationship with God. And I've done that ever since. In October of last year, after it happened to me and it was ended and it was done, I had a part of me that was mad at God because I couldn't understand how He let it happen to me. But I can tell you that in that metaphysical world, there are good and there is evil. And the Bible says that the devil walks the earth. This is his realm. And this is where his fallen angels work with him. And he has dominion over this realm. And so when you're getting a reading, you do not know what door is being opened. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that because I still have friends who work in that realm and I still have friends who go and get readings. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. And I know that's going through my mind right now. People are going to be offended. People are going to judge me. And you know what? I'm just giving it to God because I'm doing what He asked me to do. And it was a horrific event. I can tell you that it knocked me down. And it made me turn to God. And I'm grateful that my entire life I have believed in God. In my business, where I had a life coaching business, I built that business around giving readings and giving Reiki. But I always had God there. When I was giving a session to somebody, I would tell them, you need a God box. And I want you to write on this paper everything that you want to give to God, everything that's out of your control, and you want to give it to God. You go home and you write it down and you put it in that God box. And all of my clients did that. I always had God involved, but that door, I'm telling you, the devil walks the earth, and you don't know what's coming through there when you're getting a reading. You just don't know. And so that's all I want to say about that, because I feel like if you were drawn to this video and you were drawn, and God is telling you on your heart, the Holy Spirit is coming and it's telling you that it's time to put those cards down, it's time to stop getting those readings, then you already know. You don't need me to tell you. It's already in you, and it's already telling you and trying to lead you and guide you in the direction that God's trying to make you come to Him. And I can tell you that the moment I did that, the moment I started to, when it was all over and I was done being angry, I wanted answers. And I didn't want them from cards. I wanted them from God. And I started asking Him questions. And He gave the answers. He led me to a church where I had a pastor. I'm still at that church now. That pastor, or my pastor of True Faith Worship Ministries, Pastor Loggins, he would give sermons that he was answering questions that I had given to God. And he didn't even know he was giving me those answers, but he was. And not just in church on Sunday, but on Bible study. In Bible study, the very first Bible study I went to was on the book of Job. And if you don't know what the book of Job is, it's about the devil coming to him and doing horrific things to him in his life. And Job never stopping not ever stopping at his belief in God. And that is what happened to me. The whole time that spirit was with me, saying that I was a damn soul and that I was going to go to hell and this and that, I was praying to God. I was on my knees and I was praying to God to please lead me to the right people. And He did. He did. I said I wasn't going to get into that detail, and I don't want to, because I don't want to scare people. But I can tell you it was horrific. And it's still a fragile thing for me to talk about, but it no longer has power over me because I have a relationship with God. And because God has given me the answers to the questions that I had. And I can tell you that when I used to get readings through the cards, I would be confused about things. I would be like, well, no, that can't happen. And I would just be confused. God is not a God of confusion. And He will give you the answers that you need. I promise you that if you are being guided to put that stuff away, then just do it. And move in the direction that God's asking you to move in. And you won't regret it. You won't. You will lose people along the way. I can tell you that. You will lose people along the way. But you won't regret it. Because my relationship with God has been the best relationship I've ever had in my entire life. And I will never regret the decision of putting those cards down and moving to God. And I'm grateful for the church that He sent me to, because I have a pastor and the people in that church know this story, and I have a place where I can just be me. And I don't have to impress anybody, and I don't have to be something that other people around me want me to be. And I won't ever do that again either. So, and that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about this. And I love you guys. And you are loved. You are loved. And there are better. God is the best way to get the answers that you want in life. And that's all I'm going to say. I love you guys. And until next time. Bye, everyone.